Hi, hello, this is Giri teaching 10th mathematics. This video's concept is the essay questions from SCRT model paper, that is section 4. Now, here is section 4 and this is the first question number 29. Show that root over 11 is an irrational number. I shall repeat, show that root over 11 is an irrational number. Here is the solution. Let us prove that root 11 is an irrational number here. In order to prove it, let us follow the proof through contradiction. That is, let us assume that root 11 is not an irrational number. If it is not an irrational number, then it should be a rational number. Since we assume that it is a rational number, you can write it in the form of p by q, where p and q are integers and the denominator q should not be equal to 0. Now, since we find square root on LHS, let us square on both sides. By squaring on both sides, LHS whole square is equal to RHS whole square. Root 11 whole square is 11. P by q whole square is p square by q square. Now take this q square to the LHS, then 11 into q square is equal to p square. 11 into q square is equal to p square. Here this p square is nothing but 11 times of some number. Therefore you can say that 11 can divide p square. If 11 can divide p square, then 11 can also divide p. Now this is the first one. Now as you proved that 11 can divide p square, let us take p is equal to 11r. If p is equal to 11r, then p square, squaring on both sides, p square is equal to 121r square. Means squaring on both sides, LHS whole square is RHS whole square. Now this p square is equal to 121r square, but we know that 11q square is equal to p square. Therefore in the p square, in the place of p square, you can write 11q square. That is 11q square is equal to 121r square. Or take this 11 to the other side, then q square is equal to 121 by 11 is 11r square. Q square is equal to 11r square, or 11r square is equal to q square. 11r square is equal to q square. Therefore 11 can divide q square and 11 can also divide q. Now if you observe 1 and 2, we got that 11 can divide p and 11 can divide q. That is, the both numerator and denominator can be divisible by a constant number, a particular number, which is a contradiction to our assumption. What is our assumption? Our assumption is root 2 is not an irrational number is our assumption. This is a contradiction. Therefore, our assumption is false and root 11 is an irrational number. Now, next question. Next question now. Verify that 1, minus 1 and minus 3 are the zeros of the cubic polynomial x cube plus 3x square minus x minus 3 and check the relationship between zeros and coefficients. I shall repeat. Verify that 1, minus 1 and minus 3 are the zeros of the cubic polynomial x cube plus 3x square minus x minus 3 and check the relationship between zeros and coefficients. Here is the solution. Now, the polynomial given is x cube plus 3x square minus x minus 3. Let us assume that it is px. Px is equal to, polynomial in x is equal to x cube plus 3x square minus x minus 3. Now let us verify whether 1 is a 0 of it, and let us verify whether minus 1 is a 0 of it, and let us also verify that whether minus 3 is also a 0 of the given polynomial. Now how to verify that these three are zeros? In order to verify that these three are zeros or not, let us substitute x is equal to 1 first. Then we will verify whether we get the value of the polynomial is 0. If the value of the polynomial is 0, then that value of the variable is called 0 of the polynomial. Therefore, let us substitute x is equal to 1. Then p of 1 is equal to 1 cube plus 3 into 1 square minus 1 minus 3. By simplification, 1 cube is 1. 1 square is 1 into 3 is 3 into 1 is plus 3 minus 1 and minus 3. 1 plus 3 is plus 4, minus 1 minus 3 is minus 4, 4 minus 4 is 0. Now substitute x is equal to the second value minus 1. If x is equal to minus 1, then p of minus 1 is equal to x cube minus 1 whole cube plus 3 into x square, 3 into minus 1 whole square minus x minus of minus 1 and minus 3. This is equal to minus 1 whole cube is minus 1, minus 1 whole square is plus 1 into 3 is plus 3, minus of minus 1 is plus 1 and minus 3. Now add positive values. 3 plus 1 is 4. Add negative values. Minus 1 minus 3 is minus 4. Again, if you add up, you will get 0. Now substitute the third value. X is equal to minus 3. Then p of minus 3 is equal to minus 3 whole cube plus 3x square means 3 into minus 3 whole square minus x means minus of minus 3 and this is minus 3. Minus 3 whole cube is minus 27. Minus 3 whole square is plus 9. 9 into 3 is plus 27. Minus into minus 3 is plus 3 and this is minus 3. Now add up the positive values. 27 plus 3 is plus 30. Minus 27 minus 3 is minus 30. 30 minus 30 is 0. Now if you substitute x is equal to 1 and x is equal to minus 1 and x is equal to minus 3, in 3 cases you got p of x is equal to 0. Since p of x is equal to 0 for these x values, these 3 are called zeros of p of x. Therefore 1, minus 1, minus 3 are zeros of p of x. Let us take the polynomial again. P of x is equal to x cube plus 3x square minus x minus 3. This is in the form of a cubic polynomial. Ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d. A means coefficient of x cube. Here is 1. B means coefficient of x square plus 3. C means coefficient of x minus 1. And D means constant term minus 3. Now we have the 3 zeros. Alpha is equal to 1, beta is equal to minus 1 and gamma is equal to minus 3. Alpha, beta, gamma are the 3 zeros of the polynomial. Now let us add these 3 zeros. Alpha plus beta plus gamma is 1 minus 1 minus 3 plus 1 minus 1 is 0 and 0 minus 3 is minus 3. This minus 3 is nothing but minus b by a. Minus 3 by 1 is also minus 3. Therefore alpha plus beta plus gamma is equal to minus b by a. Next, alpha into beta plus beta into gamma plus gamma into alpha. Alpha value is 1 into beta is minus 1 plus beta gamma means minus 1 into minus 3 plus gamma alpha minus 3 into plus 1. 1 into minus 1 is minus 1. Minus 1 into minus 3 is plus 3. Minus 3 into plus 1 is minus 3. You can cancel plus 3 and minus 3 and final answer is minus 1. You will get C by A value. C is minus 1 by A is 1, that is equal to minus 1. Therefore this value is equal to C by A. And the third property, product of the 3 zeros, alpha into beta into gamma. Alpha value is plus 1 into minus 1 into gamma is minus 3. Plus into minus is minus, minus into minus is plus. 1 into 1 is 1, 1 into 3 is 3. This which is equal to minus d by a. Minus d means minus 3 by a is 1, which is plus 3. Therefore this is equal to minus 3 by a. Therefore the 3 relations are verified. This is the first relation, this is the second relation and this is the third relation. All these 3 relations are verified. Now next question. Question number 30. Solve the quadratic equation 2x square plus x minus 4 is equal to 0 by completing the square. I shall repeat. Solve the quadratic equation 2x square plus x minus 4 is equal to 0 by completing the square. Here is the solution. Here, in order to solve this, let us take the given equation 2x square plus x minus 4 is equal to 0 and take this constant term to RHS. Then 2x square plus x is equal to minus 4 other side plus 4. Now the coefficient of x square is 2. Therefore multiply the total equation or multiply both sides by 2. Then 2 into 2x square plus 2 into x is equal to 2 into 4. 2 into 2 is 2 square into x square is 2x whole square. This is 2 into x is 2x. 2 into 4 is 8. Now this is a. Let us assume that 2x is equal to a, then this is in the form of a square. Then it should be 2ab term. Therefore equate this 2x to 2ab. 2 into a value is 2x into b value is equal to 2x. Or b is equal to this 2x by 2 into 2 is 4x. You can cancel x and x and this 2 in 4 2 times. Therefore the value of b is 1 by 2. Now let us add 1 by 2 whole square, that is b square term on both sides. So that LHS will be a square plus 2ab plus b square, which is nothing but a square plus 2ab plus b square is equal to a plus b whole square. Therefore total LHS is equal to a plus b whole square, that is 2x plus 1 by 2 whole square is equal to RHS is 1 by 2 whole square is 1 square by 2 square, that is 1 by 4 plus 8. Now take the LCM for this 1 and 4, LCM is 4. 4 in 4 one time, 1 into 1 is 1. This LCM 4 in the denominator of 8, 1. Therefore the 1 in 4 times, therefore 4 into 8 is 32. What is 1 plus 32? 33 by 4. 2x plus 1 by 2 whole square is 33 by 4. Therefore 2x plus 1 by 2 is equal to root over 33 by root over 4, that is root over 33 by 2. This is plus or minus. Therefore once you take positive value and in the second case you take negative value. Therefore 2x plus 1 by 2 is plus root 33 by 2 and 2x plus 1 by 2 is minus root 33 by 2. Now in this case 2x is equal to, take this plus 1 by 2 to other side, then it is minus 1 by 2 plus 33 by 2. For 2 and 2 LCM is 2 and the numerator is minus 1 plus root 33. Therefore x is equal to, this is 2x, take this to other side, then x is equal to minus 1 plus root 33 by this 2 into 2 is 4, this is 1x value. And on the second side 2x plus 1 by 2 is equal to minus root over 33 by 2, or 2x is equal to plus 1 by 2 other side minus 1 by 2 minus root 33 by 2. For 2 and 2 LCM is 2 and the numerator is minus 1 minus root 33. 2x is equal to this, then x is equal to, take this 2 to denominator, minus 1 minus root 33 by this 2 into 2 is equal to 4. Therefore x value is equal to minus 1 plus root 33 by 4 and second x value is minus 1 minus root 33 by 4. Now another question. A storage tank consists of a circular cylinder with a hemisphere stuck on either end. If the external diameter of the cylinder be 1.4 meters and its length be 8 meters, then find the cost of painting it on the outside at the rate of rupees 20 per square meter. I shall repeat. A storage tank consists of a circular cylinder with a hemisphere stuck on either end. If the external diameter of the cylinder be 1.4 meters and its length be 8 meters, then find the cost of painting it on the outside at the rate of 20 rupees per square meter. Here is the diagram. This diagram should be a cylinder. It should be a cylinder, and on both sides of the cylinder there should be hemisphere. On one side there is a hemisphere for the cylinder, and the second side also there is another hemisphere. Okay. Now the cylinder and these hemispheres are the same radius, which is equal to 0.7 centimeters, and the height of the cylindrical part is 8 centimeters. Sorry, these are meters. Please correct them. One is 0.7 meters, it is radius, and the second is height of the cylinder is 8 meters. Now look at the solution. Given diameter of the cylinder is 1.4 meters. If the diameter is 1.4, then radius of the cylinder, radius of the hemisphere r is equal to 1.4 by 2, diameter by 2. This 2 in 1.4, 0.7 times. Therefore radius of the cylinder is also equal to radius of the hemisphere. Both these values is equal to 0.7 meters. And what is the height of the cylinder? height of the cylinder is 8 meters. 8 meters. Now we have to find this total tank. In order to find the total tank, this total tank is nothing but the curved surface area of the cylinder plus the curved surface area of this hemisphere plus curved surface area of this hemisphere. That is curved surface of the cylinder plus 2 hemispheres. Therefore 2 times of curved surface area of the hemisphere. Let us write down the formulas. CSA of the cylinder 2 pi r h plus 2 times of CSA of the hemisphere 2 pi r square. Now take 2 pi r common in both. If we take 2 pi r common, in this case we have h, and in this term you have, if you take 2 pi r common, you have another 2r. Now substitute the values. 2 is 2, pi means 22 by 7, r means radius is 0.7, into h is height of the cylinder is 8, plus 2 times of r, 2 into 0.7 is 1.4. Now you can cancel 7 in 0.7 0.1 time. This is 2 into 22 into 0.1 into 8 plus 1.4 is 9.4. By finding the product, we got 41.36 square meters. Now cost of painting the tank per 1 square meter is 20 rupees. Now how many square meters we have here? We have 41.36 square meters. Therefore the cost of painting the total tank outside is equal to 41.36 into 20, which is equal to rupees 82 and 72 pies. Now another question, question number 31. Evaluate the first bit, sin square 15 degrees plus sin square 75 degrees by cos square 36 degrees plus cos square 54 degrees. And second bit, sin 5 degrees into cos 85 degrees plus cos 5 degrees into sin 85 degrees. We have to find the values of both the bits. Here is the first bit, let us solve this. Sin square 15 degrees plus sin square 75 degrees by cos square 36 degrees plus cos square 54 degrees. This is equal to sin square 15 degrees is same. We did not change anything. Sin square 15 degrees. Later, this 75 degrees can be written as 90 minus 15. 90 minus 15 is 75. Therefore, in the place of 75 degrees, let us write 90 minus 15 degrees. Sin square 15 degrees plus sin square 90 minus 15 degrees by cos square 36 degrees plus cos square 54 is 90 minus 36. Now, we know that sin 90 degrees minus a is equal to cos a and cos 90 degrees minus a is equal to sin a from the trigonometrical ratios of complementary angles. Therefore, in the place of sin 90 minus 15, you can write cos 15 degrees. And in the place of cos 90 minus 36, we can write sin 36. Since the squares are there, first of all sin square 15 degrees plus this sin square means cos square 15 degrees. And cos square 36 degrees, cos 90 minus a is equal to sin a. Therefore, cos square 90 degrees minus 36 degrees is equal to sin square 36 degrees. Look at the numerator. Numerator is in the form of sin square a plus cos square a. Sin square a plus cos square a is equal to 1. Divided by denominator is also in the same form, cos square a plus sin square a, whose value is also 1. 1 by 1 is 1. So that it is simplified. Now look at the second bit. Sin 5 degrees into cos 85 degrees plus cos 5 degrees into sin 85 degrees. This is sin 5 degrees, right, as it is. Now this 85 can be written as 90 minus 5. 90 degrees minus 5 degrees is 85 degrees. Similarly, this 85 degrees, you can write the same. You can write this 85 degrees as 90 degrees minus 5 degrees. Therefore, this is sin 5 degrees into cos 90 minus 5 degrees plus cos 5 degrees into sin 90 minus 5 degrees. Again, you can apply the same formula. Sin 90 minus a is equal to cos a and cos 90 minus a is equal to sin a. Sin 5 degrees into cos 90 minus a is sin a plus cos 5 degrees into sin 90 minus a is cos a. This is sin a into sin a, that is sin 5 degrees into sin 5 degrees sin square 5 degrees plus cos 5 degrees into cos 5 degrees cos square 5 degrees. which is in the form of sin square A plus cos square A. Sin square A plus cos square A value is 1. Therefore, this value is 1. Now another question. The table given below shows the daily expenditure on food of 25 households in a locality. Find the mean daily expenditure of the food. I shall repeat. The table given below shows the daily expenditure on food of 25 households in a locality. Find the mean daily expenditure on food. A table is given in which we have given classes and frequencies only. These are the classes and these are the frequencies. Only this table is given with two columns, classes and frequencies. The classes 100 to 150 frequency is 4, 150 to 200 frequency is 5, 200 to 250 frequency is 12, 250 to 300 frequency is 2, 300 to 350 frequency is again 2. This is the table given in the question. Now in order to find arithmetic mean, there are three procedures. As these frequencies are simple, we adopted the direct method to find the arithmetic mean. In order to find the arithmetic mean in direct method, here we have given classes and frequencies. The next column is for class mark. How did you get this class mark? The class mark of a class is nothing but the average of lower and upper boundaries. Average of 100 and 150. In order to get average, add these two. 100 plus 150 is 250. 250 divided by 2 is 125. Therefore, the class mark of the first class is 125. And class mark of this class is 150 plus 200 is 350. 350 divided by 2 is 175. Otherwise, the difference is 50. So that you add 50 to each class mark, so that you will get the next class mark. 125 plus 50 175 plus 50 225 plus 50 275 plus 50 325. These are the class marks. And later Fi into Xi. Fi stands for frequency of I class and Xi is the class mark of the particular class. Fi into Xi means 4 into 125 is 500. 5 into 175 is 875. 12 into 225 is 2700. 2 into 275 is 550. 2 into 325 is 650. Now let us add all the frequencies. Sigma Fi is the sum of the frequencies 25 and sigma Fi Xi means sum of all Fi Xi's whose value is 5275. Now let us write the formula to find arithmetic mean. Formula to find mean is sigma Fi Xi divided by sigma Fi. Here the value of sigma Fi Xi from the table is 5275 and sigma Fi from the table is 25. Now substitute these values. Mean is equal to sigma Fi Xi means 5275 divided by sigma Fi means 25. This 25 in 5275 211 times. Therefore, the mean daily expenditure on food is rupees 211. These are the first 6 problems of section 4. The section 4 contains 10 problems including choice. Now we answered first 6 problems. In order to shortcut the length of this video, we stopped here, and the remaining 4 problems we will discuss later. Thank you one and all.